Just released breaking news. Home sales last month in Metro Vancouver have dipped below the 10-year monthly sales average.
But what does this really mean for the housing market? And for more on this, we're joined by realtor Steve Saretsky. Thank you so much for being here, Steve.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me on.
Were you surprised by the numbers?
Not particularly. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess
Even that big of a drop, like 34%.
Yeah, we should probably break down the numbers first. So
yeah, go ahead. I know what numbers you guys have been given, but
Yeah.
obviously I've done my own research.
yeah, well, home sales down from September of last year by about 32%. The price, though, has not gone down, surprisingly, for an average attached home.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on where you're getting the stats and how you kind of construe them.
Well, tell us what you think your numbers are then.
From what I've seen is the detached house prices actually peaked back in January. Since then, they've dropped roughly about 15%, not only looking at the average, but also the median price as well.
Right.
So I think obviously there's the counter argument that the average isn't that accurate, can fluctuate a lot.
Right.
But again, if you're looking at the median as well, I think both of those kind of line up.
Right. So what does that mean as far as moving forward with our real estate market? Because it's been so hot for the last couple of years. Is it cooling down now?
Yeah, I think it's definitely cooling down. I mean, the big thing to look at is it's what's called the sales to actives ratio.
Right.
So I mean, at one point, I think for the detached, that was around 45%. Anything over 20% by the board is considered a seller's market.
Okay.
Right.
And so I think right now we're at 12%.
Wow.
And anything under 14% is considered a buyer's market.
Right.
So for me, I mean, that's one of the key indicators that I look at.
Right. So basically, it's like the amount of transactions over a monthly basis have really decreased.
Yeah, it's basically what we're seeing right now is that sales are decreasing and then the inventory is going up. I mean, not a whole lot of inventory coming on, but for the most part, the inventory that is basically just backing up.
So is this a time of year, you know, a lot of people with kids going back to school and things like that, a lot of people don't want to sell their home in September or October. So is that why we saw such a big decline as of right now? Or is this trending now towards this is where we're going?
For the most part, September, I mean, is usually a little bit busier than August. Not a whole lot, but it is usually busier. I think people are mostly back from their vacation, so they're ready to start getting things done again. October is actually supposed to be busier than September historically.
Right.
And then once you get into November, December, January, those are the really slow months. So, I mean, I would really look to October to kind of see what happens then, because I don't think you'll see any pickup in the winter months.
Right. So let's talk about, do you directly credit this slowdown to the foreign buyers tax that was instituted in August, or were we already slowing down?
We were already slowing down. I think that this just escalated things. I mean, nobody can say for sure that, hey, look, you know, I guess the numbers come out that say there's been less foreign buyer purchases.
Right.
I mean, obviously there's a few flaws in those reports as well, but for the most part, I think that based on my conversations as well with some of the foreign buyers, is that there's greener pastures everywhere. You look at areas like Seattle.
So they're moving their money there.
Yeah, exactly. The policies are a lot.
Places that do not have a foreign buyer's
Yeah, policies are a lot more friendly.
So if you're someone who's looking at, you know, who has a house and thinking about putting it on the market, is it better to wait now until we sort of stabilize? I mean, it's always a difficult decision for people to know what's going on, because people want to get the most value for their home.
Yeah, exactly. I've had my crystal ball, but
yes.
Yeah.
It's really hard to predict where the market's going to go. I don't think anybody knows for sure.
Right.
I mean, certainly like the numbers right now aren't very encouraging.
Right.
But
Yeah, I mean, you know, it could always turn around. I mean, yes, spring is always a busier month. Will it pick up? I really don't know. I think right now the trend is certainly that it's a buyer's market for the detached, and it's certainly looks to be going that way for the condo townhouse as well.
And really quickly, with the money, foreign money not there anymore, if prices start to drop down a little bit, can that reheat the market again with local buyers trying to grab up what they consider great deals?
It's possible. I know a lot of realtors are encouraging their buyers right now that it's an opportune time to buy.
Right.
I mean, that's obviously just depends on your opinion and perspectives and whatnot. It's hard to say. I mean, obviously, I think the government right now with their new, stress test on the banks as well, making it harder to get loans, especially that's going to be put a lot of pressure on first-time buyers that maybe don't have the 20% down.
Right. Okay.
So I think that's going to be a little bit more challenging for some of the buyers trying to get in as well. So that can also curb some of the demand.
All right.
Volatile time of the market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you for your analysis on the situation, Steve. We appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me.